Let me ask you something. What if I told you that the person you are today is not even close to who you could become? Not because of your background, not because of your resources, but because your mind is undisciplined. And an undisciplined mind is a prison. You think freedom is doing whatever you want. No, freedom is having complete control over yourself. Most people are slaves to comfort, to distraction, to fleeting emotions. Every time you hit snooze, every time you skip that workout, every time you break your word to yourself, you weaken your will. And the world senses it. People respect the disciplined. The undisciplined get ignored or worse, pitied. Now here's the hard truth. You will never feel ready. If you wait to feel motivated to become disciplined, you'll be waiting forever. The Stoics knew this. They built mental frameworks so strong, so unshakable, that their discipline became automatic. And today, I'll show you how to do the same. Not with cheap hacks, not with fake positivity, but with 12 brutal Stoic laws, proven to force your mind into order. If you stay with me till the end, you'll learn how to rewire your brain to crave discipline and reject weakness. But first, I want you to take this step. Comment below. I destroy weakness. I choose discipline. Write it now. Let your mind feel that shift and listen carefully. Law number 9 is the one most people can't handle, but it's the one that separates the average from the truly powerful. So don't skip. Stay locked in till the end. Let's begin. One of the deadliest lies modern comfort teaches you is this: life should be easy. The Stoics believed the opposite. They trained their minds by seeking hardship, not avoiding it. Why? Because discipline does not grow in comfort. It grows in friction, in resistance, in pain voluntarily chosen. Marcus Aurelius would deliberately sleep on the floor, fast for days, walk in the cold, not because he had to, but because he knew, if you can endure chosen suffering, you can endure anything. But most people today build fragile minds. They chase ease, and then when life punches them in the face, as it always does, they collapse. Your goal is to become anti-fragile. You must teach your mind that comfort is not the goal, strength is. So here's your first challenge. Every single day, do one thing that makes you suffer a little. Cold showers, early wake-ups, fasting, brutal workouts, deliberate rejection of pleasures. It doesn't matter what you choose. What matters is that you choose hardship when you don't have to. That's how you forge discipline, because if you can do what is hard when no one is forcing you, you become unstoppable when life tries to force you to quit. Now, write it below to lock this in your mind. I embrace hardship to build power, and stay with me. Because the next law will show you how to crush the biggest enemy of discipline. One of the most painful but most necessary truths you must learn is this: you will never become disciplined if you keep lying to yourself. And yet, almost everyone does. They say, I'm trying. They say, I'm doing my best. They say, I'll change soon. But deep down, they know it's not true. They're giving themselves an easy way out, and that is the enemy of discipline. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it is endurable, then endure it. Stop whining. That is the essence of brutal self-honesty. You don't sugarcoat your weaknesses. You expose them to the light and destroy them. You must treat your self-deceptions like an infection. If you do not cut them out, they will spread and rot your mind. So here's the law. Starting today, you must develop a habit of ruthless self-auditing. You must ask yourself every day, where am I lying to myself? Where am I pretending I'm working hard, but I'm actually coasting? Where am I making excuses? Be cold about it. Be surgical. This is not about guilt. It's about clarity. You can't fix what you refuse to face. And understand this: The ability to face truth is itself a weapon. Weak minds run from it. Disciplined minds crave it. They seek out the uncomfortable truth because that is where growth lives. Now, lock this in your mind by writing it below. I feast truth. I kill lies. Stay with me, because the next law will teach you how to reprogram your mind to embrace the pain of patience and turn it into unstoppable power. If you want to force your mind into true discipline, you must learn to do one thing that almost no one today can do: sacrifice the pleasure of now for the power of later. The Stoics mastered this. They understood that every small pleasure you indulge in today steals strength from the man you could become tomorrow. Delayed gratification isn't just a habit, it's a test of character. Look around you. Most people are addicted to instant rewards, dopamine from their phone, comfort from junk food, quick wins that mean nothing, and with every indulgence their minds grow weaker, more addicted to ease, less capable of endurance. The Stoic warrior, on the other hand, trains his mind to crave the long game. He understands what is hard now will make life easy later. What is easy now will make life hard later. So here's your task. Start denying yourself unnecessary pleasures, not as punishment, but as training. Skip the dessert. Skip the pointless scroll. Delay that gratification. Feel the discomfort and lean into it. Because every time you deny an urge, you strengthen your control. You are teaching your mind this: I am the master here, not my cravings. Now, anchor this law into your mindset. Comment below: I master urges, I delay gratification. And don't even think about leaving, because next I'll show you a law that will make you immune to emotional sabotage. The law of emotional detachment. It will change everything. Here is a brutal truth. If you cannot control your emotions, you cannot control your life. The Stoics knew this. They believed that a man ruled by emotions is a slave, tossed around by every insult, every setback, every fleeting mood. Discipline dies the moment emotion takes command. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This is the mindset of emotional detachment. The goal is not to suppress emotions, but to master them, to observe them like a general studies the battlefield. Anger, fear, sadness, excitement, all are data, not commands. They should inform your actions, not dictate them. Weak minds react, disciplined minds respond. And that difference is everything. When you act on impulse, you surrender your power. When you pause, detach, and act with reason, you seize it back. This is why the Stoic trains himself daily to step back from his emotions, to ask, is this feeling useful? Does it serve my purpose? If not, discard it. Here is your task. Throughout your day, when emotion rises, breathe. Observe it like a scientist. Do not react blindly. Respond with intention. The more you practice this, the more bulletproof your discipline will become. Lock this in. Comment below: I control emotions, I command action. And stay with me, because next we dive into a law that will make discipline automatic through one of the most powerful forces of the human brain. The law. Discipline is not an event. It's not something you do once and expect transformation. Discipline is a system built slowly, deliberately, and with ruthless consistency. And the Stoics knew exactly how to cultivate it through repetition. But not just mindless repetition, focused, intentional, precise repetition. Every thought you think, every action you take, is either strengthening your mind or weakening it. Most people go through life repeating the same mistakes, the same excuses, the same self-sabotaging behaviors, hoping that one day, somehow, they'll change. But change doesn't come by chance. It comes by force. It comes when you consciously choose which habits you will hardwire into your identity, and then repeat them until they become unbreakable. Epictetus taught his students to rehearse discipline, to practice hardship, to train the mind daily through repetition, because he understood something the modern mind forgets, that excellence is not born from intensity, but from consistency. You can have one great day and it means nothing, but string together 30 average days with total focus, and you will become someone the old you wouldn't recognize. This is the law. Whatever behavior you repeat becomes who you are. If you wake up early every day, it becomes your identity. If you train your body daily, it becomes your standard. If you delay gratification and dominate your emotions consistently, you are no longer someone trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. But there's one more layer. The repetition must be focused. Mindless routine is a trap. You can go to the gym every day and make zero progress if your mind isn't engaged. You can read Stoic texts and still be weak if you don't apply what you learn. Focused repetition means repeating action with full attention, with clear intention, and with brutal self-accountability. So here's your task. Pick 3 core disciplines you want to master. Wake time, physical training, work focus, emotional restraint. Choose yours and then rehearse them daily. Track them, measure them, make it impossible to forget. This is how soldiers are built. This is how men of steel are forged, not by force of will once in a while, but by building rituals that cannot be broken. And remember, at first it's hard, then it becomes familiar, and finally it becomes who you are. That's the real reward of discipline, not the outcome, but the identity it carves into you. Comment below to make this law real in your mind. I repeat, power. I become unbreakable. Stay right here, because the next law will show you how to use your imagination like a weapon. The Stoics used it not to fantasize, but to prepare. The law of negative visualization is coming, and it's going to rewire how you handle failure, loss, and fear. There is a hidden weakness in most people's minds, and it destroys discipline when things go wrong. You know what it is: false security. People build fragile lives by assuming tomorrow will go their way, that things will stay stable, that success is guaranteed. And when reality inevitably hits them with failure, loss, betrayal, chaos, they fall apart. The Stoics had a brutal answer to this: negative visualization. Instead of fearing what could happen, they deliberately imagined it in vivid detail. Seneca wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." In other words, if you mentally face the worst, you become immune to it. It no longer controls you. Here is the law. You must visualize the worst, not to make yourself afraid, but to train your mind to remain unshaken when life tests you. Picture the project failing, the money running out, the betrayal happening, the injury occurring, the loved one gone. See it, feel it, accept it. Now ask yourself, what would I do? How would I adapt? How would I remain disciplined through this? This practice does 2 powerful things. First, it steels your mind against the emotional chaos that derails weak men. When the worst happens, you'll already have met it in your mind. Second, it makes you appreciate what you have now. You stop taking stability and comfort for granted, which increases your focus and drive. But understand this: negative visualization is not pessimism, it is preparation. Weak men avoid dark thoughts. Strong men use them as a forge, because the warrior prepares for battle in the mind first, and when life brings the real war, he is ready. Here's your task. Tonight, before you sleep, spend 5 minutes visualizing one thing you fear losing. Go deep. Picture it gone. Feel the loss. Then shift your mind. I can endure this. I will rebuild. I will remain disciplined. Now, lock this mindset in. Comment below. I prepare for loss. I master my fate. And don't even think about leaving now. Because next, we're going into one of the most ruthless disciplines a Stoic can practice. The law of ruthless prioritization. This is where most people fail. But most people fail at discipline not because they lack effort, but because they waste effort on the wrong things. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less. Do only what is essential. Simplicity is not weakness, it is focus. And focus is power." The modern mind is drowning in distractions, endless tasks, constant notifications, 1,000 minor obligations pulling it in every direction. But here's the truth. Discipline is about deciding what matters and ruthlessly cutting what does not. Every action you take should serve your highest values, your core mission. If it doesn't, it is theft. So here is the law. Every day, choose your top 3 priorities and attack them first. Ignore the noise. If something isn't moving you forward in the areas that truly matter, health, mastery, relationships, legacy, either eliminate it or push it to the margins. Your life will become lean, focused, powerful. And yes, this will feel uncomfortable. People will demand your time. The world will tempt you to do what is easy or urgent, not what is important. You must train yourself to say no, not with guilt, but with clarity, because every yes to distraction is a no to greatness. Now lock this mindset in. Comment below. I prioritize relentlessly. I build power. And stay locked in. The next law is one of the most counterintuitive but deadly effective ones. The law of self-imposed limits. You won't want to miss it. Here's a paradox of discipline. You build the strongest mind not by doing everything you can, but by deliberately limiting yourself. The Stoics mastered this. They imposed restrictions on their own comfort, pleasure, even speech, not to punish themselves, but to sharpen their will. Seneca would sleep on hard surfaces, fast voluntarily, wear rough clothing. Why? Because when you teach your mind to be content with loss, you become immune to fear of loss. And that is true freedom. Most people live in quiet fear. Fear of losing comfort, fear of running out of enough, fear of the Stoic strips it away by training the mind. I need very little to be powerful. Here is the law. Set limits for yourself, even when you don't have to. Limit your screen time. Limit your possessions, limit your consumption, limit your comforts. Practice doing more with less, not because you lack resources, but because you are building a mind that does not depend on them. A man who is content with little is unstoppable, because no one can take anything from him that he truly needs. His discipline is forged in this self-imposed scarcity, and when life offers more, he takes it without attachment, fully in control of himself. Here is your task. Choose one area this week where you will impose a strict limit. It could be time on your phone, the food you eat, the money you spend, the entertainment you consume. Hold the line. Let your mind feel its strength grow. Lock this mindset in. Comment, I thrive with less. I command my mind. Stay here. We are entering the final law, the one that ties everything together, the law of relentless reflection. This is where discipline becomes permanent. Here's the final truth most people ignore. Discipline is not self-sustaining. You can build it, you can train it, but if you don't reflect, it will decay. The Stoics were ruthless about this. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations daily, constantly, examining his thoughts, his actions, his weaknesses. Why? Because he knew, without reflection the mind slides back into comfort. This is the law of relentless reflection. Every single day you must ask yourself, where did I break discipline? Why? How do I prevent it tomorrow? No excuses, no self-pity, just cold, honest review. The mind that reflects is the mind that evolves. The mind that avoids reflection becomes stagnant, and weakness creeps back in. Here's your task. Each night, take 5 minutes. Write down where you succeeded in discipline today and where you failed. More importantly, write how you will adjust. This habit will compound into unstoppable mental clarity. It is the final lock on the system you've built. Without it, the previous laws fade. With it, you become the kind of person who never stops sharpening the blade. Now, if you've made it this far, you are already above 95% of people who chase comfort. You are ready to force discipline into your life, not with hope, but with method. Lock this entire mindset in. Comment below, one last time. I reflect, I adult, I evolve. Write it now. And if this video gave you value, smash that like button, subscribe to Stoic Wind, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. We are building minds of steel here, and you will not want to miss what's coming next.